All right, Shalom. Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving all praises, all honor, and all glorification to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rucha Kudash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. That's who we learn this truth from, and that's who Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai set up to guide the election of the nation of Israel. And of course, Shalom to the elect, starting with the 144,000 and the great multitude that believe in the word of the Lord. To you I say Shalom. All right, and this is from a post from Polymarket. It says the world is out of water. Okay, and this is one of the crises. Okay, that the Lord is going to bring or is bringing. Okay, upon the earth. All right, alongside the famine, alongside war, the pestilences. Okay, water shortages is coming in a major way. In a major way. Okay. All right. And this is prophetic. Okay, this is prophetic. Okay. All right, because the scriptures talk about a time unlike any other time. Okay, and that includes water shortages. Okay, imagine the world without with a shortage of water. Okay, this is going to be worse than the time where there wasn't no rain for a period of 3 years because of when Elijah prayed that it didn't rain for 3 years and a half. Okay, this is going to be worse than that, man. Okay, all right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, okay, because our Lord Yahushua prophesied of the evil times coming, a time unlike any other time. This is Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Okay, and that includes a time with water shortages. Okay, time where there's a crisis of a lack of water. Okay. All right. This is in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. So let's look at this post right here. Okay.
Supply of fresh water. The global supply of fresh water is drying up. A new study reveals over the last 20 years, 75% of the world's population lives in an area where drinking water is decreasing. The global supply of
CBS News analysis of water usage found that by 2028, data centers could use at least 469 billion gallons each year. For context, that's about a third of the water Americans used for showers in 2023. There are more than 4,000 data centers nationwide, with rural southern areas expected to see the most new development. CBS News analysis.
And guess what? They're still building those data centers. Okay, and there's also reports that came out that what's actually happening is that the elites are hoarding up the water for these underground cities. Okay, the point is this whole thing is being orchestrated by the elites, man. Okay, you know the elite banking families. Okay, and that's part of the chaos that they want to bring. Okay, because their goal is to bring an order out of chaos. Okay, so they're orchestrating famine, pestilences, water shortage. Okay, war. Okay, and wars on the rise. Okay, you know all these things, they lead to more trouble. Okay, so we're witnessing is a polycrises. Okay, multitude of crises. Okay, which is orchestrated by the elites. But Yahweh Bashim Shai is on top of that, and the Lord is gonna multiply the plagues. Okay, the Lord is gonna intensify the plagues, man. Okay, He's gonna bring the plagues of Egypt, like the scripture says in Second Ezra's. Okay, the 15th chapter. Okay, you know, He's gonna bring back the plagues of Egypt, which includes darkness. Okay, you know, so there's talks of blackouts. The Lord is going to intensify that darkness, man. Okay, so yes, it's going to be a time unlike any other time. Like the scripture says, there will need to be a divine intervention. Okay, for the elect. Okay, this is the book of Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time, man. Okay, so there's no time in history that can compare to the times coming. Okay, all right. It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, which is the elect. Okay, and they're going to be victims of divine intervention, miracles. Okay, the Lord's gonna bring miracles, do miracles on His elect. Okay, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So this is really for the elect. Okay, that are gonna be, that are gonna receive divine intervention. Okay, right? You're not gonna have an elect dying of famine. Okay, dying because of lack of water. Okay, it says that the Lord will not suffer the righteous, the soul of the righteous to famish. Okay, it says here in the book of Psalms 37 and 25. I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Okay. Okay. The Lord said that his servants shall drink. Okay, let's get that real quick. Okay. All right, so those plagues coming up is really for the wicked. Okay, the flood, it came for the wicked. The Lord saved 8 souls in the flood. Okay, which included the righteous Noah. Okay, this is Isaiah 65 and verse 13. It says, "Therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." Right, that's in the time of famine. "Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty," in the time of a drought of water. Okay, which is coming. Okay, that's one of the plagues that's being prepared, man. Okay, there's a water shortage. Okay, it says, "Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, and ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit." Okay, so we see how, in what spirit the elect are going to be. Okay, all right, the elect are not going to succumb or be victim of famine, a water shortage. Okay, though the elect are gonna go through it. Okay, they're gonna be satiated. Okay, they're gonna be fed. They're gonna drink. Okay, this is the promise from Yahweh Shemel Shai, because that's a small thing for Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, He brought water in to Israel. Okay, coming out of Egypt, He brought water in the time of Elisha. Let's get that instant, man. Okay, when Israel went to war. Okay, this is a small. It's in the book of when Elisha told the man to bring let's see. Bear with me. Let's say Moab. I'm just gonna write Moab, or Moab. I remember we went to war against the Moabites. 2 Kings. There you go. 3. That's it. This is 2 Kings 3 and verse 13. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it in NLT. AMP rather. Okay. 2 Kings 3, and I'll start at verse 12. And Jehoshaphat said, "The word of the Lord." You know what? I might have to start earlier. 2 Kings 3 and verse 6. And King Jehoram went out of Samaria at the same time and numbered all Israel. And he went and said to Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, saying, "The king of Moab hath rebelled against me. Wilt thou go with me against Moab to battle?" And he said, "I will go up. I am as thou art, my people as thy people, and my horses as thy horses." And he said, which way shall we go up? And he answered, the way through the wilderness of Edom. So the king of Israel went, and the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, and they fetched a compass of 7 days' journey. And there was no water for the host and for the cattle that followed them. Okay, so the shortage of water. There's no water. Okay. And the king of Israel said, alas, that the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. But Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of Yahweh by him? And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah. And Jehoshaphat is one thing about Elisha. A lot of the miracles that he did surrounded around water. Okay, it says, and Jehoshaphat said, the word of Yahweh is with him. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father. Yeah, and that's beautiful. Okay, because like I did a lesson yesterday, your so-called gods are going to have to step up in that time. We're going to see if they can bring water, okay, in the time of a shortage of water, okay? Let's see if they can bring rain. Let's see if they can bring food, okay? Let's see if Jesus can bring you food, okay? Let's see if Allah can bring you food. Let's see if your voodoo, okay, can bring you food and water in that time, man, okay? That's the energy Elisha was coming in, man. Get thee to the prophets of thy father and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, nay, for the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. And Elisha said, as Yahweh, the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand surely, were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee nor see thee. Man, yeah, man, the prophets were raw. Okay, you know, he's talking to the king. If it wasn't for King Jehoshaphat, I wouldn't even look your way. Okay, verse 15. But now bring me a minstrel. Okay, that's a musician, a man that plays an instrument. And it came and that proves that you know, there's music has an importance. Okay, you know, it's spiritual. Okay, it proves that music is spiritual, because the prophet asked for a musician to come. Okay, you know, and the minstrel, I believe, is one that plays an instrument with strings, if I'm correct. Minstrel meaning it says a minstrel primarily refers to a medieval traveling entertainer, musician, or poet who sang and played instruments. Okay. Yeah, so, but yeah, just like King David was chasing made the wicked spirits flee out of Saul when he played the instrument. Okay. But yeah, so Elisha said, verse 15, but now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass when the minstrel played that the hand of Yahweh came upon him. Once again, music is spiritual, man. Okay, music is spiritual. Okay, I read in AMP, but now bring me a musician. And it came about while the musician played that the power of Yahweh came upon Elisha. And he said, thus saith Yahweh, make this valley full of ditches. For thus saith Yahweh, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water. Woo! Okay? The Lord is going to make water appear, man. Yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. Okay, so we see the power of the Lord. They lack water. There was a shortage of water, but it says here, I read it in AMP, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh, you will not see wind or rain, yet that valley will be filled with water, so you and your cattle and your other animals may drink. And this is but a little thing in the sight of Yahweh. So going back to the point I was making, it's a little thing for Yahweh Bashmiel Shai to bring water. Okay? We're entering a period of great humbling. The world's going to be humble. Okay, but the Lord's going to show favor to his elect, okay, in that time of humiliation. And this is but a little thing in the sight of Yahweh. He will deliver the Moabites also into your hand. AMP, this is but a simple thing in the sight of the Lord Yahweh. Okay, he will also hand over the Moabites to you. Okay, so it's a little thing, it's a simple thing, okay, for the Lord. It's a light thing for the Lord to bring water, okay, to bring food, okay, to satisfy his servants, to bring abundance to his servants, okay. Verse 19, and ye shall smite every fenced city and every choice city, and shall fell every good tree, and stop all wells of water, and mar every good piece of land with stones. Okay. Okay. Verse 20, and it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. Okay. All right. A miracle of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, and he's going to do it again. Okay. The Lord's going to do it again. Okay. All right. He's going to make water appear. Okay. For the faithful. Okay. For those that trust in him, that trust in his power, that trust in his mighty hand. Okay. The Lord's going to do it again. All right. So yeah, man. So it was an example of how Yahweh Bashim Yoshai can just bring water. Okay, servants are gonna eat, man. His servants are gonna drink. Okay. All right. So let's go back to that post. Okay.
And out west, a critical water lifeline for millions of people across 7 states is hitting a dangerous new low. Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the U.S., has fallen nearly 4 feet this year, dropping to just over 1,000 feet. That is the lowest level ever recorded. You can see it here. Satellite images showing Lake Mead just 3 years ago compared to now. Look at that. And out west, a critical water lifeline for millions.
So that's the largest reservoir of water, hitting an all-time low. Well, guess what? There's
largest reservoir in the United States just hit its. The second largest reservoir in the United States just hit its lowest level ever recorded. It happened at Lake Powell not long after the largest reservoir in the U.S., Lake Mead, reached that milestone. Several factors like more water usage, a record dry winter, and rising temperatures have plummeted the water level at Lake Powell. The second largest reservoir in the United States just hit its lowest level ever recorded. It happened at Lake Powell not long after.
Okay, Lake Mead, Lake Powell. Okay, the two largest reservoirs of water. Okay, are hitting their all-time low. Okay, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua at work, man. Okay, we are in the time of judgment. Okay, and there's gonna be a water crisis, a water shortage. Okay, people are not gonna have access to water like that, and once again, I believe that the elites are behind that, man. Okay, the elites are behind that, but ultimately, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Okay, let's go to the book of Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 6. Okay. And verse 24 says, at that time, which time? The time of evil. Okay. Time of trouble. Okay. All right. This is what we're in, but it's only going to intensify, man. Okay. When people don't eat for days, they don't have no water, people are going to go crazy. It says here, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Okay. So your work colleagues, your neighbors, okay, your family members, okay, they're gonna fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, okay, because the Lord is gonna make that fear settle once again. Okay, the whole world is gonna be humbled, okay, by this time, man. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, water crisis. Okay, lack of water. Okay, water shortage. Okay, this is what's going to set its place. Okay, on the world, man. Okay, and mainly in Babylon, man. Okay, mainly in Babylon. Okay, America. All right. All right. Two of the largest reservoirs of water are hitting an all-time low. Okay. All right. And and that's also happening in the east, okay? Because the Lord said that he was going to dry up the Euphrates rivers, okay, for the purpose of the war, okay? But that's still a major reservoir of water, okay? That's going to affect the population there. So, okay, let's get that here in Revelation 16 and verse 12. Okay, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, okay, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Okay. Okay, so I spoke to the chat, okay, and I asked, is the Euphrates River drying up? It said, yes, the Euphrates River is facing a severe crisis and dropping to dangerously low levels, though it is not completely dry yet. Experts and government reports warn that the river system shared by Turkey, Syria, and Iraq could face continuous depletion and potentially dry up completely by 2040. The Lord is going to accelerate the days, and this prophecy is going to come to pass, okay? All right, for this third world war. But once again, all right, that river is an important source of water, okay? All right, now they give the different cause of the decline, okay? Rising temperatures, low rainfalls, massive dam and irrigation projects in Turkey and Iran have significantly choked the downstream flow from Syria and Iraq. Overuse, millions of people rely on the basin for drinking water, farming, straining the dwelling supply. Well, at the end of the day, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's prophetic, okay? It's supposed to happen, okay? Impacts on the region. It says low water flow severely restricts crop irrigation in Iraq and Syria, threatening local food supply, leading to famine. Health crisis, lack of clean drinking water has contributed to outbreaks of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid in parts of Iraq. So it's already started. It's only going to get worse. Okay. Archaeological exposure, shrinking reservoirs and dry riverbeds have unexpectedly uncovered ancient ruins and historical sites that were underwater for decades. Cultural and religious interest of receding waters have drawn widespread online attention due to the prophecies in both, in the Bible. Okay, in the Bible tells you about the water of the rivers of Egypt drying up. Okay, it's all prophetic. Okay, all right, it's gonna have a major effect. Okay, it's gonna have a major effect on the world, man, on the economy. Okay. Now, so I asked, what are the effects of water shortages? Okay. It says water shortages trigger a severe domino effect that disrupts public health, global economies, food production, and ecological stability. The world is going to change, man. Okay. The world is going to change. It says disease outbreaks, public health risks, disease outbreaks. Lack of clean water forces reliance on contaminated sources. Waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery spike rapidly. Okay, so more pestilences. Okay, sanitation, and the elites know that, man. Okay, and once again, their goal is to bring order out of chaos. They want to mess up this whole place, man. Okay, all right, and it's only gonna get worse. Okay, sanitation failure, basic hand washing and sewage management collapses without adequate water quantity. This exacerbates infections and overburdens municipal healthcare systems. Food insecurity, crop failure. There you go. Your crop is in jeopardy. Agriculture consumes roughly 70% of global fresh water. Shortages instantly restrict irrigation, drying out essential croplands. Boom. Okay. So that's going to affect Babylon. It's going to affect first world countries. Okay. This place is taking a deep dive to the bottom, man. Okay. All right. Deep down to being a third world country. It says livestock loss. Dwindling supplies cause widespread livestock death, threatening local livelihoods. Okay. So livestock, man, your beef, okay, your sheep, your goat, okay, your lamb, all affected, okay. Price spikes, your chicken, all affected, man. Okay, your livestock loss, price spikes, diminished agricultural output directly drives global food price inflation and broad resource volatility. Okay, inflation, okay, hyperinflation ultimately. Okay, economic disruptions, industrial halts, heavy manufacturing, chemical refining, and semiconductor production depend deeply on water for cooling and processing. Shortages trigger output drops and job losses. Energy strains, thermoelectric and hydroelectric power generation plants face operational constraints or shutdowns if cooling water or reservoir levels fall too low. Okay, so it affects the energy industries too. Okay, so that including the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, which that has an effect on the what's the word, the on dit engrais, the fertilizers. Okay, a great amount of fertilizers come out of that region. Okay, so all hell is gonna break loose, man. Okay, all hell is getting ready to break loose, man. Okay, one of the plagues is a water shortages. Okay, we're entering a time unlike any other time. Okay. Okay. Social and geopolitical instability, mass displacement, severe structural droughts trigger massive humanitarian emergencies, forcing populations to migrate toward water-secure regions. And that's what happened in the time of Joseph when he was second in command in Egypt. Okay, people were going to Egypt. That's where our Jacob, his father, and his family did. And and their livestock, they went all into Egypt because there was food in Egypt. Okay. Where there's food, people go. Where there's water, people go. Okay, especially in the time of famine. Okay, it says, and guess what? That led to people having to be in complete submission. Give themselves to Joseph. Okay, just like people are gonna give themselves to the elites, man. Okay, that might be one of the tactics. Okay, you want food, you want water, you gotta take the CHIP. Okay, and a lot of people are gonna succumb and take it. Okay. All right, but not the elect. Okay, because once again, like we read Isaiah 65:13, the elect are going to eat, the elect are going to drink. Okay. All right, so call Layim Lay how about Shemel Shai, man. Okay. That's it. So we read on some of the effects of a water crisis, man. And this is where we're at. Okay. This is where we are at. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I got anything else. Okay, so once again, the elect are gonna be defended in that time, man. Okay. In the time of famine, the time of water crisis. Okay. The elect are gonna be defended. Okay. There will be divine intervention. Okay, and there needs to be divine intervention. Right, and the Lord's gonna provide the intervention. Okay. Yeah, so I might end it off here. Okay. I end it off here. Okay.
Seven states is hitting a dangerous.
All right, so I'll end it off by giving all praises, on honor, and all glorification to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. All right, Yahweh Bahashem Yahshua Bakatam.